You see Remy like smoothing out the page on the floor with trembling hands.
He clearly spent the most time getting every detail of your hair just right. Clearly. That was the focus of his piece of masterpiece that has somehow been tossed aside.
He starts smoothing out the page with like trembling hands and sidekick, sidekick. I'll never forget you, sidekick. He
What
takes
are
the
you on
page.
about?
He takes the page in his mouth, and
That's not food.
he sulks over to the group. He does. Noir is out, right? She is.
She went into a ball.
She went at the ball. Is there any human with pockets right now?
Nope.
No, not at the moment. However,
Okay.
You could let her out and give it to her and come back. We're in private.
yeah, you can let her out.
Yeah. Let Noir out.
Oh, okay.
And then-
Use the ball. Yes, touch it to your little thing. Maybe Locke's going to touch it.
And then Noir will approach Noir and
Noir will approach
he'll
yourself.
say in Pokemon, Locks can translate. But save this, put it in your pocket.
Okay.
We have to find him. We have to find Sidekick.
Okay.
We're not finding sidekick.
I don't know who Sidekick is, but maybe we'll find him somehow. I don't know how.
His name is Mortimer.
Mortimer. Okay.
Morty for short.
Right.
We're gonna go on adventures together. Put it in your pocket.
It's in my pocket. It's here. Don't worry, I won't lose it.
Don't lose this. Don't take it to hell. Just save this.
Okay.
And then when we get out of here, we need to find Morty.
Okay.
And then he screams out, Morty, I miss you! And then, okay, let's go.
Oh, breaks my heart. Eventually, you will find both Dr. Perrault and Sylvain Theroux enter into the room, and he will say, "The president wishes to speak with you," Sylvain says.
Wonderful. Thank you.
They will escort you down the hallway and to the egg office. So it's like the Oval Office, but it's in the shape of a Pokemon's egg. So not quite oval shaped, just egg shaped. And then you will see President Bo is at his desk, and he is sitting there with his elbows on the table, going like this with his fingers.
Lex will bow. Mr. President.
You've returned sooner than I expected.
Just one legendary. You got it.
I would think that destroying an undead god would have required more time.
When you're this awesome, you don't need time.
It took like under 10 minutes to do. And
He barely hit me at all.
I know. We're
I
awesome.
tried to make him confused, but he made me confused. And then it was all over.
Well, in that case, we, the people of Johto, thank you for your service. I will make sure that they make it a high priority to honor you all as heroes, and you all can be seen as highly esteemed citizens amongst the Johto members.
That's a very nice honorific, sir. Can I ask this? Because at the end of the day, we're not the chosen of the legendary gods, Pokemon, Cresselia, whatever. Our humans were. And they fought too.
They can be esteemed Pokemon heroes. Yes. We can recognize them as well, as they should be.
Great. Thank you.
I'll point up the finger and go, I don't care about being a hero or anything. Noir will go, I don't care about being a hero or anything. We just need to talk to you about something very important. this a chance of diplomacy. Can we?
Go ahead.
Lux has been translating, yes.
I'm assuming Lux is translating. Yes.
Can we bring out? There's a few others. I will consent to being bound if that's what you desire. But we do have messages from the gods. We have received visions from them, and at least like a chance to talk about such visions.
As long as your trainers agree to keep you under control, you are their responsibility. I will allow it.
Okay.
Quick favor then. My Pokemon, I think, has an issue with one of yours. Would you mind putting Sylvain away for right now? I don't want there to be a fight.
Sylvain is my bodyguard. Personal bodyguard. I keep him
Alright.
around so there won't be any fisticuffs.
All right, I'll keep my Pokemon in his ball then. My apologies.
He will wait to see if you will release anyone else.
You let Tiffany and Kyle out?
You will
Sure.
let Tiffany and Kyle out, yeah?
Thank you.
Ooh, let the Kyle out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, let the Kyle out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Sorry.
Well, Tiffany's trying to get him to come in, so.
Okay.
Tiffany will look around, fix her eyes on Bo, curtsy. Mr. President?
Who has Molly's ball, by the way?
Wouldn't Bullet
Probably
have it?
Bullet, but I'm sure Bullet would let Molly out.
Okay. Well,
All right.
we'll say that Molly's out then.
Yeah, Bullet will do the thing.
Okay.
All right.
Ricochet,
Bullet will do the
Riz.
thing.
Thank you.
Not the same guy.
Yeah. So
Yes.
she emerges and she looks around and she immediately notices that Chase isn't there, and she looks at Lux and she kind of kneels down to Lux and says, "Where is he? Where's Imp?"
Not with Sylvain here. They will fight. You're stronger than you think. You've got this.
I'm
Molly,
I'm listening.
Did
Molly,
they let the other
Charlie
guests
and
out? Or-
everyone's out.
all right, everyone except for Chase is out.
Oh, right. Other humans. Button.
Everyone except for Chase is out. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Shay.
Charlie's probably a little disheveled. Just
Ooh. Are you sure you didn't both end up in the same Pokeball? Ooh.
Pokeballs showing. Scandalous.
Oh, God.
I thought you were in stasis in there. Ah, yeah.
Oh, Kyle is in trouble
That's
later.
because we were in the love ball.
they were in separate balls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Annie kind of helps Charlie present himself, and then turns over to the president
Pangoro.
and just gives a
Yeah.
silent bow.
He's listening.
Molly kind of she takes a swallow. It's just she's kind of visibly nervous, and she stands up and she says President Bo, sir. We are here to talk to you about peace, the possibility of averting a war, and we come to you as representatives of the gods, and we wish to, well, talk to you about options for diplomacy.
I believe the last time I spoke with your group, I had said that I was going to reach out to the Elite Four to talk about negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not enough?
Annie, Charlie, do you want to do your thing?
You're the one who handled the thing, Annie.
Well, Mr. President, you see, our group was chosen by the gods to help settle disputes between that risk both Pokemon kind and your kind, and one of them was the use of a combat serum that unfortunate groups of Pokemon. My trainer in particular was affected by the serum that warped the abilities of Pokemon to do horrid things. And
He leans in and asks, for what purpose was the serum created that forced these Pokemon into horrid, corrupted states?
it was meant for weapon purposes before my group destroyed the serum and any attempt to recreate it. It was going to be used for defense at our walls unjustly, and
Defense or offense against us?
it would have been used in defense if anyone from your side of the wall ever came to try and invade.
And if that's the case, why did you destroy it?
Because it was wrong to subject Pokemon or any sentient being to be used for such horrid purposes as to my Pokemon in particular was, ever since the serum was injected into his system, he was never really the same. It caused him issues with aggression, and he would hurt others without meaning to.
I agree that such acts is a barbaric.
Indeed.
Forcing Pokemon to be used as weapons for their own purposes is something that humans have been doing throughout history.
And my group and I, we aim to change this. We want a more even playing field with your kind, and to help each other learn and grow from each other.
I appreciate that you brought justice to those who decided it was a good idea to corrupt Pokemon. But does this not prove that humans are not to be trusted.
Humans
Not
Bo.
all. Oh, go ahead.
President Bo, the gods chose us as humans to fix these problems. Our Pokemon were never even were not made aware of these situations until we informed them. Doesn't that show that the legendaries or the gods, if you wish to call them that, doesn't that show that they place trust in us?
I will admit, given the fact that you at least claim to have taken down a long dead god, that there is something to the trust that the legendaries place on you.
Scythe comes out.
What is that? He says as he looks at the golden scythe.
I'm champion and servant of Giratina.
At that,
This is
the even Sylvain looks very nervous as he sees this giant golden scythe. Dr. Peralt is looking at the scythe with curiosity, like, ooh, that's
No, I
something
kind of like. No one's using this for any malicious means. Well, I puts it away and goes, there's sign of proof. Also, humans do horrible things. Pokemon have done horrible things too. Both sides are guilty of horrendous things. The missing no god attempted to kill and use my Pokemon, my trainer, my dearest friend who I raised when his father was killed by other Pokemon. Missing no, this undead god tried to use and had used my Remy as a spy and potentially a weapon and it hurt him. He bled from his ears because this undead god and this group called Team Omni, group of Pokemon, decided that it was just and right to take over the bodies of children and take over the bodies of other Pokemon to do horrendous things. They planted bombs that targeted that they tried to avoid Pokemon deaths, but they didn't stop what they were doing when Pokemon died. They sacrificed hundreds of Pokemon at Sotopolis. We arrived there and they had been 2 hours dead. Masses of Pokemon because they believed that their actions were justified. They weren't. They were awful. And they tricked people into doing horrible things. Both sides are guilty. Pokemon and humans are doing horrible things. But both sides have put efforts into stopping those horrible things from occurring in the future. No one's perfect.
The things you speak of, they're very disturbing.
There's proof.
Chase pops out of the ball.
Okay. Chase will pop out of the wall.
Lux will step in front of him, glare, behave.
He looks at the scene. He will lay eyes on Bo
He'll lay eyes on Bo.
for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm. Do you notice Sylvain, or you don't notice him yet?
I meant Sylvain there, sorry. Sorry,
All right, so you're looking at Sylvain. Sylvain is looking at you too. And he has a very calculated look on his face. Calculated.
Can Tiffany roll intuition to try to figure out what the calculation is about, or
Sure.
Molly, when
that's
Chase
bad? I'm going to use skill monkey and reroll, so it's 6 plus
when Chase pops out of the ball, Molly's gonna move closer
24.
to him.
Okay, and with the 24, Tiffany feels that Sylvain is like assessing the situation as if, okay, if Chase does this, I'll do this. If Chase does that, I'll do that. Like he's basically
Okay,
like
so he's waiting for Chase to do
he's
something.
waiting for
Okay.
Chase to do something.
Tiffany will go over, rest her hand on his shoulder. You calm? You don't need to fight in here.
No more blood.
All right, I trust you. Don't disappoint me. Steps back, goes over to you, takes his hand.
Who takes Tiffany's hand? And he's just watching, like, nervously.
Yep.
And Chase, he'll look at Noir now and say, I heard you say we have proof. And I'm making out of character an assumption here that people can hear things inside balls because our Pokemon have popped out for scenes. So
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say that
just
they can
respecting
hear.
Lux, because Lux was right by doing what he
Yeah.
did. So he thinks to Noir. I don't know how that works, Noir. Again, remind me. Are you in people's, like, can you hear surface thoughts of people?
No, I would be probably reading your mind as soon as you come out anyway, because you heard about like the whole maybe attacking Sylvain thing.
Okay, so he approaches Noir and he pulls out the Phoenix Blade and he puts a hand out to Sylvain. He's like, I'm not going to do anything, but this is a blade.
I'm watching you, Sylvain says out loud.
Feel free to draw your weapon. And then he turns it on so that it turns to fire. And then he approaches Noir and he's thinking, Moltres be with you. And he just
Also
starts
with you.
touching her Noir with the fire blade.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking the gift. Show him the gift.
She shows the fire gift.
So she basically becomes immune to fire and starts absorbing the fire. And then he will approach Tiffany. And he'll put a hand on her shoulder. And he'll say, Rayquaza, be with you.
Rayquaza will be with you. She'll activate the appropriate gift.
Okay.
And then he looks at Bo and he says, the universe works in strange ways. You don't have to believe us. We're not asking you to believe us, the humans, or them, the humans. We're asking you to believe your own gods. And then he approaches Molly. And he looks at her in the eyes. And he says, Ho-Oh be with you. And then he stabs her through the heart.
Oh my!
Molly, when that happens,
When Molly she looks shocked at first, but she doesn't look surprised. She actually does not look surprised at that. And she like with whatever breath she has left, she looks at the rest of the humans and she sputters out. She just says, "Trust me.
Okay.
Just trust me."
When Chase stabbed her,
There's blood coming out of her mouth
lightning
now.
flashed outside briefly.
And she coughs. She's coughing. There's blood coming out.
The objects in the room stop shaking a little bit, then they stop.
Obviously, Bo is going to react to that, and I'm just going to visually say that Bo is, his face is filled with shock. The Dr. Peralt's face is filled with shock. Even Sylvain Turo's is filled with shock. He's like, I was calculating a bunch of things in my head. I didn't take that into consideration for that to be an option.
Strangely, I was waiting for something like this.
Strangely, I was waiting for
this exactly.
So everybody's in shock, but go ahead.
Molly used the gift.
Annie kind of looks shocked and kind of looks toward Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie makes a move to, get closer.
Tiffany will put herself between them. And guys, trust us. We were given this part for a reason.
And Chase will draw down the blade, the Phoenix, back into just a rocket stick. And he hands it to Sylvain.
Sylvain takes it, but he's super confused right now, and especially with this girl that's on the floor with blood all over the carpet. That's all over the.
No,
It's gonna
we're
take
making a
forever to
mess.
get those stains. This is a presidential office, you guys.
No, can't take the humans anywhere.
Molly is on.
That's a good point. How is Bullet reacting to this? How is Bullet reacting to that?
Yeah, Bullet by this point has lost all color.
My.
And he's just like, well, that's not really something that you would expect to see.
No.
He kind of figures right now that he's sleeping and in a nightmare.
Molly.
So he's kind of sitting there blubbering a bit and just like willing himself to wake up.
Molly's on the floor. Molly's on the floor, and she looks at Bullet. She kind of reaches out to him, and she mouths. She can't say anything by this point. She mouths to him. All we have to do is not die.
He'll perk up slightly and take in a bit of a sharp breath, and then after a few seconds, he'll just start to slowly nod.
And with Molly's last breath, she whispers, "Alicia."
Does he use the gift?
No, he kneels down. Chase kneels down by Molly, and then he just says, "Can we have a minute of silence, please?"
No, not a minute. Less than a minute. Well, since
Less than.
intensity. Like, bring her back right now.
At this point, I
Can we have 57 seconds of silence?
Yeah. I was gonna like gentle go over. I'm like,
at this point, I think
"No, I'll do." Oh, sorry.
at this point, I think if nobody's holding Charlie back, he's probably just
Tiffany will try. Oh, 5'4" of fury
like
that
just
she is.
trying to his way.
And Annie says to Charlie, "Take it from me. Take it from me. Trust me."
And Chase will say to Noir, "No, not yet. Death is not the end. Death is not the end. Step back."
We need to resurrect her.
Yes, we do.
When? Like, we have less than a minute left.
Yes, we do.
Okay, you gonna do it or I'm gonna do it? Like,
I'll do it.
You do know Shay, the specialist, within a minute?
Yeah.
Not after a
Yes.
minute?
No, I
Within
said
a
within
minute.
a minute. I said, can we have a minute of silence?
no,
Just
no,
one
we're not a
minute of
minute of
silence.
silence. Like, Chase, you either do it now or I'm going to do it now.
To be
He waits
fair, a
until-
minute of silence doesn't mean that it won't happen within that minute of silence. Just that he wants you to shut up for a minute.
This is just mental thoughts. Like,
Right.
yeah, and I was like,
Time is
I'm
passing, so it's you guys got less than
Do
a
it,
minute.
do it.
So
Does
time is
Noir see
passing.
the gates? Does Noir see the gates? That's what Chase will ask, actually. Do you see the
there's
doors?
no one see Molly's spirit.
I mean, not yet. It's gonna take time, but probably
Okay, well then
within
we have
under
a minute. We have a minute after death. So Chase is feeling her for her pulse, and he's waiting for her
No, a
pulse
minute
to stop.
after death. Like, it has to be before.
Within a minute of death.
Is he dead?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
what I was.
I could have killed Molly right there.
She's
Okay,
dead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Marco,
She's
Yeah.
dead. She is dead. DED, dead.
So bring her. So and then do the whole gift.
Okay.
Oh no, Impus turned on us. He was there for the
Nelson's
Pokemon
messages
all
to
along.
Charlie, let him know that Chase is using the gift. As soon as she gets that message, reads that in his mind. It's
Okay.
like,
Charlie is going to try to start transferring energy, but to your shock, there's this big glow of warm energy emanating from the other four. Well, I'm sorry, not the other four, but actually, yes, all four, including Cassie, who's back at Geosenge. She feels this warmth too, even though she's far away. And you feel this big glow emanating from all of them. And these big fiery wings, almost like a phoenix, appears over Molly's body. And the flames burn brightly. And sprinkle down. The sort of they kind of sprinkle down into her chest, and you can see the wound in her heart heal up. Hate to break it to you, but the blood is still on the floor. So yeah, they're gonna have to clean that up afterwards.
If he's
And
on
then
it.
after a few moments, Molly will give a big gasp and probably cough up a little bit of blood, but she is alive once again. Oh.
Highland Guardians. Did I do that? That
No, that was
Oh my gosh, Charlotte, you can resurrect people now?
Molly,
So we still got our gift. Cool.
I should stop being surprised. I really should.
I should do.
Molly sits up. Molly sits up. She's covering the area where she was stabbed, and she looks up at Chase and she says, "I knew I could count on you, Ian." And she sits up. She sits up and she says she looks back at Bullet first, and she says, "It's okay, Bullet. I'm all right. I'm fine."
Bullet promptly faints.
she kind of whispers, "Could someone tend to him?"
Yeah, just let me get some water out. One sec.
And
She will get water, splash it on him, and then your trainer's fine. Come back to us.
she turns back to Bo.
Actually, no, she has the weather control gift. She's gonna do a light, gentle shower onto him.
All right.
Mhm.
The office, it starts to rain in the office. And again,
Very
Bo's
controlled,
looking
small
around.
little personal rain cloud.
Yes, the personal rain cloud. Okay.
Mhm.
Do you mind getting the stain on the carpet too? While you're at it,
Just
you know?
extend it a little bit.
Just extend it.
Let's
It's over
keep it
there.
out my bag. I have cleaning supplies. I have
There
a
you go.
grinder. I Muck. Or Muck has me. Both are true.
And
Yes,
you
I
can
think
have a
it's
side job. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's fair to say that Bullet will, over time and attention, wake up. But go ahead and continue on with the scene.
Oh,
Molly Molly looks back at President Bo, and she just says, "Sir, the gods have chosen us because I think we were all meant to work together. We survived an explosion. All of us. We survived an explosion from Team Omni. Later, we encountered Omni at the Pokemon Contest Center. It was a difficult fight, but we're all still alive. Later, we went to Castelia City. The people there didn't survive, but we did. We survived a raid on Team Rocket. Here we are. We're still alive. We fought and defeated a demigod who wished for... Well, he tried to kill all of us. But here we stand. We're still alive. And my friend just stabbed me through the heart. And I died. But here I am, because of the trust from Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh trusted us with this gift. We're all survivors here. That's what the gods want. They want us to survive together. Please, sir. Don't let all of this be in vain. Don't start the war.
The president sits back, absorbing everything that you said. And there is a silence in the room for a few seconds. After which, he rises up from his desk, breathes heavily, and he says, I admit I cannot honestly say that I understand every single thing that is happening here. But it is very clear that you speak the truth, that the gods have blessed you in some way. Despite my personal reservations, I will reach out to the Elite Four and try to negotiate some sort of peace with them. And we will see what comes from that. That is all I can promise. The rest will be up to the humans.
I can promise that we will help with these negotiations. Or at least I will. I will, if you think it's prudent, I suggest us humans could perhaps talk with the Elite Four also to convince them of the rationality of peace.
Whatever you wish.
Molly bows low to him and she says, thank you very much, sir. And may I make one more request if it's not too much?
He will listen.
There are 2 humans here in Johto that are very, very dear to me. Their names are Irene and Dylan Ray. They live with a dust ox named Pimple. They were my foster parents many years ago. And in their efforts to look for me, they wound up in Johto by accident, were captured by Pimple, and are now living at his house. I don't ask to bring them back to Kanto. All I ask is that I be allowed to come visit them.
As heroes of the realm, I think that's a small token to ask for, sir. This is Luck speaking, by the way. He'll add that on after he translates.
Very well. Granted.
Thank you, sir.
Molly bows again, and she's shaking quite a bit, and she actually sinks down, and she almost starts breaking down again, but she just...
Tiffany will go over, hug her. Strength Moon, we're almost done.
And she doesn't cry. She holds it back and she says, thank you, sir. And she stands up again.
Tiffany will help her up.
Mm-hmm. She's still a little bit weak from the loss of blood, I imagine. So she appreciates that.
President Bo will go over to his desk and he'll press a button. Yes, Mr. President. I need a janitor here immediately to clean the floor. Sure, Mr. President. The president will ask for an audience with the Elite Four.
I think last time we talked about this, she said Tiffany did have an in with them.
Correct.
Anything she could do there to help.
Could we get us into the meeting with the Elite Four? Or
the Elite Four will say that they would prefer not to have a giant number of people all at once. So I will say that realistically they'll let you bring in 2 representatives along with President Bo. So whichever 2 you want to send over there is fine.
I would like Tiff to go just because I didn't get to do a lot in the last scene.
Yeah, I was about to recommend it, Tiff.
All right. One more person can go with Tiffany if you'd like. Or Tiffany can just go by herself. Doesn't matter.
Do you want to come with?
Molly, do you want to come with, or I can go? I don't mind either way.
Or Annie or Charlie.
Or Annie or Charlie.
Well, as things are slowed now, could we swap out for Cassie, or does Riz want to continue resting? Sorry.
I mean, like, you guys could reach out to Cassie, but I don't think that she would find herself a good candidate to speak to the Elite Four.
Yeah.
All right.
Is Annie or Charlie good at talking? Charming people.
Annie's
Annie's a Kearney.
yeah. Well,
But Kearneys are in bad now.
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kearney, though.
might not be a good idea to have
Yeah.
me. Since
Molly's open to going, by the way.
Okay.
I'm
What's your
more
charm, our character?
I'm more used to bribing people with sweets. So
There we go. Bring the baked goods. Hand them to Tiffany. She'll pass them out.
I mean,
I didn't bake them. They're good to eat.
I did bring cookies.
These cookies are laced with arsenic, but take that.
They're all wheat brownies.
You all want to
There we go.
ascend,
Hot
right?
brownies.
Ascend.
So how's Molly's charm?
Molly's charm is. It is. Hold on.
Yeah, I think this would be the deciding factor.
Molly's charm is a 5.
Okay, Noir's charm is also a 5.
Mm-hmm.
The
Charlie's
Psych-
a 4.
aren't exactly favorable, so I'll suggest you.
Okay.
Molly
Because people are scared of Giratina at the moment. Oh,
wouldn't want to whip out the
Intimidation
golden.
factor.
well, maybe that would be a good
Without the
thing. It's like, be scared, agree to peace.
Well, to answer Riz's question, Bo will probably reach out to the Elite Four, and the Elite Four will probably be interested in an audience with him as soon as he's available. So he could do it that day, or he could do it the next day. But after everything that you said about the gods, I think Bo wants to address this sooner than later and not wait on it. So
Maybe the next day, just so Molly can clean up the blood on
Okay.
herself.
Okay. So we'll again because I don't want the session to run super long. I'm sure that there are things going on in between. But if there's nothing super important, I'd like to fast forward to the actual Elite Four discussion, as long as there's nothing super significant.
Just,
we have-
just will notify the people back.
Okay.
In the machine that
So you'll notify the people in the machine. All right.
Yeah, they should know what's going on.
I'm sure that you guys will be able to talk about stuff and you'll have like scenes, but because again I do want to make this not too long, I want to move forward a little bit. So you will join the Elite Four. You will join the president with the Elite Four. You will see Lorelei, Bruno, Agatha, and Lance. So just to describe the Elite Four a little bit, Bruno is the quietest one of the bunch. He's the muscle. He doesn't speak unless spoken to. Agatha, I kind of see her as sort of like a grandma that's sort of set in her ways. So, she's a little no fuss kind of person. And Lorelei is, I see her as a little feisty, one of the feistier of the Elite Four. And then Lance is, of course, he's got a very great presence. He's very charismatic, and he speaks with great authority.
It has a cool cape.
And he has a very cool cape. And the Elite, there's this meeting room, and the Elite Four is sitting on all four corners of this room. And Lance will rise up from his seat, and President Bo and Tiffany and Molly are in the center. Lance will address the group. He looks at his document. Miss Molly Moon, Miss Tiffany Benoit. I believe I am familiar with your mother, late mother.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as
And
well.
from what I understand, the president of Johto.
Johto, sir. Quick admin. Can we have Lux in the scene just so we have a translator?
Yes.
Awesome. Does anyone here speak Pokemon before we begin?
No one other than Lux, basically.
Okay. No, she's addressing the Elite Four.
Right.
Alright. I would like to summon a Pokemon then who can speak both Pokemon and human. It's a Duskull, but it's a nice Duskull. His name is Lux, and she will let him out. Lux, you're going to play translator for the president, alright? Okay. He will say that in human. And look over to the Elite Four. Hi.
President Bo will speak. I know that there's been a lot of friction between our two countries. I know that we have been shrouding our nation with mystery. And the reason for that is because it was for our own personal protection from the outside world. As long as we weren't bothered, we would not bother anyone else. However, given recent events, especially with what I have seen in the last 24 hours, I feel that the time for us to be ticking time bombs next to each other should end. And I wish to come up with some form of negotiation. Tiffany and Molly, if they would like to interject, it sounds like a natural spot for you to interject if you wish to interject.
I, for one, would personally welcome negotiations as a citizen of Kanto.
As another citizen of Kanto and as a lover of Pokemon, I also would like to.
The conversation will continue on back and forth, so it's not just going to be. I'm just condensing it down for the interest of time, because I think the major discussion happened at the president's office, so I don't want to take up another hour in the Elite Four, as awesome as that would be. But there is discussion back and forth, and finally, the Elite Four ask if they could be excused to discuss a few things. And after hearing you all out, they return. Lance will stand up one again and says, "This is what the Elite Four has decided. We have decided that the four of us, even though we are the ones that are meant to make majority of the decisions for the country, we felt that such a thing as this is too sensitive of a topic. It is a decision that affects everyone in the country. Therefore, we did not see it fit for the four of us alone to decide whether or not we can negotiate peace amongst the nations. We will bring it up to a vote. We will notify all the nations and ask them their thoughts, what their desires is, if they would like for things to remain the way that they are now, if they wish to try to negotiate something with Johto now that they are offering such a thing, or if they wish for something else. That is the election we will have, and we will have the people decide one way or another. We think that is the most fair thing to do."
All right. In order to convey the side of peace or equality through peace is probably my best goal that I want, because Ooh is my child, more or less. I don't think of him as a Pokemon. Ooh is my muck, by the way. I don't know if no one knows that.
That essentially is what the vote will be, if they wish to have some form of equality or what have you. We can iron out the details after the fact, once the people choose. But we will leave it up to them.
Can I ask how, if it'd be possible to start spreading our own message, if you would help us? Access to news, radio? I do know a journalist who might be willing to talk to me. But if there's other platforms that I know you would have access to...
You can do whatever you wish to appeal to whoever you want. We do not want to be involved in that because we do not want to be biased.
Alright, fair enough.
The decision has been made. President Bo, you will return back in 1 week, and we will inform you of the results. President Bo will nod. I will agree to these terms. And you all will leave.
When they exit the room, Tiffany will turn to President Bow, extend her hand. Thank you so much for coming with us today, sir. Lex will, of course, translate.
It's all in the hands of your people now.
I know. I'm hoping they make the right choice. Thank you so much, though.
He will nod.
Molly will also extend her hand to him and say, I know humans aren't perfect. In fact, we're far from it, but there are many good people who really do want peace. So I hope for a good result too.
So you guys are going to be spreading whatever propaganda you want to spread.
Yes, Tiffany is already calling Keith. And she's asking, do you have anyone else that we could talk to?
Sure.
Get me on as much exposure as you can. Tiffany is pushing herself as the poster girl for this.
Of course, this is going to be... Go ahead.
Charlie is preparing some sort of, like... I can't find the word. I can't really find it in French, but yeah, kind of a bake sale.
A bake sale.
Promote the idea of peace.
All the busy bee bakeries.
That's amazing.
Peace brownies.
Yeah, man, peace brownies. Yeah.
Wow.
Especially Pokenip berries for the Pokemon. Pokenip brownies from Pokemon, of course. Keep it fair.
Annie will go on like social media platforms and stuff and talk about her views on it and how she is voting for peace with Johto because that is the best course of action.
Okay.
And although she's still a little bit secretly on her guard and still prepared to use the machine if something does go wrong.
Yeah.
Steven tries to find a way to make sure that the security for the voting is secure. That nobody is going to hack the votes.
Nobody's going to hack the vote. Good idea.
Go, Ronick.
Yep.
Cool.
Noir will go around churches.
And Noir talk to the psychics, actually, as well as
brainwash them all.
Yeah.
Brainwash them all, psychics.
She'll point out that psychics are treated slightly better than Johto. Also, she will use her connection to Garatina and the rest of the gods around the churches and stuff, and try and get the religious people involved and the psychics involved, and make sure she updates her pin setting and stuff, and she might bring it to the cipher. Yeah, she'll show the flash a few times to prove things or something, other things. But she'll go, this is the best chance we have for peace, yada yada. War will bring loss of lives on both sides, protect your families.
Molly will...
Another point Tiffany would also have been making when she was doing all of her promotional work of lives will be lost if we go to war.
Molly will be flying all over the country, as many countries as possible.
Behind her.
On bullet and dropping flyers everywhere. And
so we could be super cute. Little baked goods wrapped up in parachutes, so when they drop down, they get the baked good in the note.
Okay.
It'd be adorable.
Yes.
And she doesn't have much time for a visit, but she will call up Alicia, let her know, and ask her to use all of her connections to try to spread the word also.
Charlie probably calls Carolyn, ask her to spread the word, and the Rangers.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with preparation, but something I'm curious about is Tide alive?
Good question. Tide is MIA.
Okay.
tie is...
That is
missing.
gonna rattle Tiffany in her off hours when she's not in the public eye.
You don't know where Tide is, but you can probably presume what its fate was.
Yeah, that's gonna rattle Tiffany for years to come. Her father was the old dragon. Tide was the elder statesman.
Okay, everyone who is trying to sway people through persuasive means, you are welcome to roll a charm right now.
Although I am
Yes.
going to use my Lyrium Pendant to roll twice, best of the two.
You may do that.
Good.
Good.
22.
Good. Nice.
Atta girl.
Nice.
19 for Molly.
Hey, very good.
14 for Charlie. That gives the big
15 for Annie.
The big sales
Okay.
didn't go.
I have Let Me Help You with that. Would you like to reroll?
I would love to reroll.
20.
20. It's better.
Okay. All right. So, you guys campaign throughout the week. Now, it is a heated topic. It is not clear cut. So, there are propaganda that is being sent out from both sides. So, you aren't the only ones that are trying to sway the vote. So, there are a lot of... This becomes a really heated topic. Like, there are families at the dinner table who are ripped apart because of this back and forth kind of thing. And a lot of people also want to are caught in the middle. It's like, I don't know, I'm on the fence. I don't want to worry about these politics things, blah, 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 blah. Oh, but it affects you. You need to vote, your voice. Like, I don't know. So, of course, you have all those people. But throughout the week, it's a huge, because this is like huge. This is big. This is going to determine the fate of what happens. And a lot of the other nations are also caught wind of this, and they're watching to find out what is going to happen. But you believe that you guys have made a significant dent in swaying a lot of people's minds. So you're pretty hopeful that at least, a good part of the vote is being persuaded by your efforts. So, a week from then, and President Bo will go see the Elite Four, and it's just going to be him. It's just going to be President Bo along with his bodyguards. And even though none of you are in the room, I'm just going to explain to you what happens. So this is more of for the players' knowledge, not necessarily the characters' knowledge.
We're on the fourth wall. We're good.
Yes, breaking the fourth wall. President Bo plus Sylvain Tarot plus a scientist will nod, and Lance will stand up and will say, President Bo, thank you very much for coming back again. As you probably have heard, there has been a massive countrywide vote. It seemed very, very close. And I assure you that the Elite Four has stayed out of it. We did not want to bias the people's opinion one way or another, because that was the whole point. We've also ensured that the voting system has not been hacked, and Stephen, you believe nothing has altered the votes in any way. These are all legit. Nothing has been hacked. He says, and I would like to let you know that the people voted in favor of negotiating. And President Bo is absolutely says, wonderful. He says, I look forward to talking to you about our negotiations. He says, yes, we will just need you to fill out some paperwork for us, and I look forward to making history with you immediately. And President Bo nods. He will turn around, and they will make their way out the door when there is a... Lance has a revolver aimed at the back of President Bo's head as blood starts to go down his face. The president falls over with a crash. Sylvain and the doctor turn around, and they're about to react. The other three Elite Four also have weapons drawn, and they fire bullet after bullet after bullet as the two, Sylvain Tarot and the Doctor, fall down.